Many of you probably haven't thought of this. Many of you have wanted to do this ghostly exit, you leaving the narcissist. I know probably for a long time you have wanted to leave this relationship or this person behind in the dust. In this video, this is exactly what I'm going to be talking about, discarding that poison on your terms. We're going to be talking about the art of fading into the background. Not because you're nasty, not because you want to play games, but because it's now time to reclaim your power. Want to know more? Watch this video. Hello, my friends. I hope that you're all doing really well. I am also doing well. It's just my voice. I'm so sorry about the raspy voice. Literally, it's not hurting me or anything. It's literally from an aircon cold. Like, it's been so warm over here in Bali for the last few weeks. Like, I'm talking really hot, but raining and hot. So it's been very misty and murky, but it's just been so hot. So I've had the aircon on for a lot, but yeah, so that's why my voice is taking a hit. Like, I can't deal with aircon, but we kind of need it. Anyway, regardless of that, today we're talking about the ghostly exit, like the exit on your terms. And I really felt called to do this video because you know, there's probably so many of you that have wanted to leave this relationship, wanted to leave this situation, and you've been kind of toing and froing. You know, instead of them leaving you, why don't you walk away? This is the ultimate power move, and leaving once and for all. Maybe that you guys might not even be together, but the fact is just leaving this toxicity behind is something that you can so do for yourself. And I feel like it's not that you're trying to play games with this person. It's not like, oh, you're going to leave and come back and whatever, because do you know what? That's going to work. But this is for those of you that have just had enough of this situation. And I'm going to talk about the psychology of it. I really want to get into that and talk about that a little bit more. But this is about discarding and leaving this toxicity on your terms. So let's get into it. Okay, so rewiring the narrative. Okay, so most of the time we have known that narcissists, or we have read, or we are told that narcissists are the ones that like do the silent treatment. They walk away and they leave. But what if you leave? What if you decide, okay, this is enough is enough. I want my life back and I'm going to reclaim it. Like, I want to take my energy, my life force energy, and my life back, because you know what? You should, because you only get this life. Okay, there's no dress rehearsal. And at the end of the day, you realize that this person is so toxic, and this poison that is in your life is damaging so much. Not only your life, your health, your emotional health as well, finances. There's so much into it. And I know that a lot of us can't also go no contact with this person. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in the video a little bit later, of those of you who can go no contact, but those of you that can't, like, there are strategies and there are ways around this. But first of all, this all starts here. This is about reframing the way that you think about it. This isn't about someone leaving you. This isn't about them saying, oh, okay, it's over and then it's going to be over. No, this is about you taking that power back and going, do you know what? I deserve better. Do you know what? Like, I don't deserve to be treated like this. And ultimately, what you've been stuck in throughout this whole time that you've been with them is this power imbalance. Okay, and that this is where, again, like I'm saying to you, you've got to reframe it. You've got to think about, okay, this isn't, relationships aren't meant to be about power. Who's better than who? That's not what this is about. This is about you understanding that you are just as important, okay? That you hold value as a person, that you're not going to take this treatment anymore, nor should you. And I want you to know that this takes a lot of courage to get to this point, to understand that actually, you know what, you don't deserve this, that you deserve so much better. And from going forward now, if you start thinking like this, then everything is going to shift in your life, because it also starts here. It's about how you think about yourself, how you conduct yourself, how you behave, because that is what is most important. And it's like I said, this isn't about revenge. This isn't about getting one up on that person. This isn't about that, because we're not playing games here. Why do you want to play games like what they do? It doesn't get you anywhere, because that person eventually knows. And I've talked about this a lot on this channel, about playing games with a narcissist. Not because you're weak, I'm not saying that, but at the end of the day, who's got time for playing games? And also, it takes a lot of energy to play games, to do this to someone. And you're not like that. You're not that type of person. They are, because they've got nothing better to do. And they've also, their mind has been constructed like that. So they'll keep going. They don't care, because they've got no filters. And there's many people like that. But this is about you reclaiming your personal narrative. This is about reclaiming your personal agency, you know, your values, your morals. What do you stand for? And you think to yourself, right, okay, enough's enough. Like, I've reached my threshold. I don't need to be behaving in this way. Like, I don't need to be taking this behavior anymore. So now we're going to talk about the pre-exit protocol, fortifying your poison. So you need to do the quiet groundwork. This is about reclaiming your independence. First of all, this is about financial independence. Okay, so you're going to have to separate your accounts. This is really, really important. If you want independence from this person, you're obviously going to need money. You're going to need to be able to sustain yourself. Housing, social support, whatever it is, you need to be able to do the groundwork, and you need to be able to put this all into order before you exit. Okay, this isn't about a rash decision, just leaving and you not knowing where you stand. This has to be planned, and you do not include them. Okay, you do not let them know anything. You don't say anything. Okay, you've got to do this in silence. Move in silence. That is your power. The other thing that is really important is what we call in pseudopsychology the grey rock. So that's about you removing yourself emotionally. You're still there. If you live with them, if you're in a relationship, whatever, like, you're still there, but you remove yourself little by little, and you give no emotional validation. It's almost like you're very neutral, you're very like nonchalant about what's going on. Although this is going to be noticed, like, don't get me wrong, the narcissist is going to notice that you're doing this. So you've got to find a way, or you've got to be clever enough. Look, every situation is different and personal to you. So you've got to do this in a way that is going to not cause a lot of alarm, that is not going to cause them to notice so much and ask so many questions, because that's the worst. You're going to be feeling like, oh my God, like, I've got to answer all these questions about what they are asking. And obviously you don't need that, because that's quite stressful as well. So when you remove yourself, it's kind of like, yeah, you kind of, do you know how I would say, is like, say things, but with a smile on your face, like, oh yeah, is that what happened? Oh, okay, cool. Don't ask too many questions. Like, you don't want to get into conversations with this person. It's about spending as less time as possible, but also them not noticing that that is what you're doing. Another key thing here also is about documenting everything. So in case this ever goes to court, or you have to prove any of this or provide timestamps or date stamps, I would document everything. And where you keep this channel, be careful where you keep this, so that they do not find it and that this is not used against you. The less information that the narcissist knows, the better. Okay, and this is, you have to keep this all hidden. You don't talk about it. Calculated unveiling, where you disappear into the background. And that's exactly what you do. There isn't this grand exit. You know, you don't cause the argument. Don't do this. Don't ask for validation. Don't ask for answers. This is about you disappearing out the back door. Okay, no one needs to know anything. You're just gone. Poof, vanished into thin air. That is the best strategy. Because what you don't need, okay, again, questions. You don't need them to notice these things, because when they do, guys, you've got to understand that when they notice, when they catch wind of you leaving, you going, okay, they are going to put up a front, because remember, what you're doing is you're causing narcissistic injury here. They are not going to like this. This isn't going to end well. This is not going to come out like when, like this big grand goodbye and everyone's good. No, no, no. What you don't want is them asking you questions, them making your life difficult. You need to just go silently, quietly, out the back door. Hopefully they're not going to notice too much at the beginning so you can, escape and move forward. But they will. They're going to ask. This is what happens with them. They're going to know. But what you're doing here is you're causing narcissistic injury because the exit was not on their terms. All right, so they didn't have control of what is going on. That's why they are not going to like this. That's why they're going to put up a fight. And that's the last thing you need. This is about choosing impact. So this is about choosing a time where you can leave, where it's going to create the least impact. Okay, this is about you leaving when maybe their attention is elsewhere. Okay, because like so much, like literally in my client work, so many of my clients what I've learned is that they've wanted answers, they wanted validation, like, why have you done this to me? Why is this happening? And they never got the answers. You're never going to get these answers. And I know that the closure is something that we all want, something that we all need, but we never get. And I know this is the hardest bit. And it literally is the hardest bit, to understand that you're not going to get the closure. But that is it. You have to pick and choose your time. You've got to be smart in this. Remember, you're not dealing with someone who is healthy, someone who is going to give you the recognition, who's going to give you the respect. That you're not dealing with somebody like that. This person is out for themselves. And it's always been about that. And it's always about you serving them. So it's about you exiting on your terms, but you're leaving little room for these grand, dramatic, like gestures or performances that the narcissist is going to do. Because remember, it's not on their terms. They're not in control of you. They're not in control of this situation. So this is what they hate. When you do exit, you have to think of it this way, right? You've got to go as little contact or no contact as possible, because I mean, what's going to happen is they're going to be asking you for answers. And once you start getting into that conversation with them, think about how it will go. Think about what is going to happen. Okay, they are going to twist everything and make you seem like you're the worst person on this earth. All right, and you're not. You're not. It's just you've reclaimed your power and you're like, I'm done with this. I'm not doing this anymore. But they will make you feel like you are the worst person on this earth. So you've got to eliminate this from happening or minimize this from happening. So going no contact really is your best friend. Or those of you that cannot, you need to minimize that contact and try to avoid getting into those conversations, particularly if you have children, businesses, or assets together. This is, maybe you communicate through a third party, like, I don't know, a friend, family, solicitors, something like that, where you've got someone who mediates between the communication. Because I think them being able to have access to you, like instant access, this isn't going to go down well for you, because they're going to start asking questions. Okay, and it's going to turn into an argument. What you're also going to find is you're going to be in a trauma bond with this person, and you are going to miss them, and you're going to feel like the worst person on this earth for leaving. And this is why I'm saying avoid contact or communication with them, because they will make you feel like that. And then there's more of a chance of you going back into this cycle. So for you, it's really important about acknowledging the pain, but celebrating the win that you've gone. How can you stay with this person? Like, how is this person going to give you true happiness? You can't, because this person isn't about that. This person is about themselves, okay? And they will do anything to keep you trapped in this dynamic. I know it hurts. I know you're going to be upset. Look, I've got a whole playlist on the trauma bond, and I've got like so many videos on this, and I'm going to insert it here. But honestly, like, you will get over the trauma bond. What you're going to be missing is the positive aspects. You're going to be missing all the good parts of this relationship. You're going to be missing that person that never was, that person right at the beginning, but never was that person, because once you were hooked, they then done a 360 and then they were nasty to you, right? That's the real them. They pretended at the beginning. And I know this is such a mind boggle to try and understand, but this is really what it is. Okay, so they are not that person. Okay, this will really help. And I talk about this a lot more in my mentorship. So if you want more information, please see the description box below. I also offer one-to-one consultations. So if you want to talk about this a little bit more, again, please see the description box below, because I do have openings. All you need to do is invest in self-care, in therapy. Okay, please do that for yourself. You don't need to do this alone. And it can be tough right at the beginning, but you will get through this, I promise you. Have a look in the comments. Okay, in my community, there's so many people who have gone through this, who are on the other side of this trauma bond. And it is possible, and you will do it, I promise you. Now, what you have is the future, the freedom. You craft your future the way that you want it to be, okay? That's what you do. You process the trauma, all right? This person picked you for a reason, because of your qualities, because of your assets, because of the person that you are. Never forget that, okay? That's why they come for you. All right, please know that you're amazing every single day. You really are, and I believe in you. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope to see you in the next one. If you have liked this, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.